Now we're going to cover the topic of what do we put on the back of these postcards. And what we're going to do is we're going to use the famous cheese and whiskers approach. Now some of you may have heard of it before and some of you haven't. But basically it goes like this. If you show a mouse or let it smell some cheese, it's going to burrow 3 feet through a wall to get to that cheese. But if it detects whiskers, it's going to run as far away from that cheese as it can. It'll totally forget about the cheese. So let's see what kind of cheese we got here. Well, if I were a restaurant owner and I were looking at this card, I'd see my own website on it, my mobile website on it for the first time. And they look great. They're all individual. They're all tailored to the restaurant. And I'd be really curious if I were the restaurant owner. Now this would want to make me turn over the card and see what's on the back. Especially if it says that I'm losing 80% of cell phone viewers. So let's create the back of this document. All we have to do is open New, Document, Blank, Page Layout, Size, and we're going to make it a 4x6. Orientation is landscape. Margins are the same as the last setting we had. Now we don't have to play around with them because we know they work. So here's what you can do. You can just get stuff off the internet. Now in this case I did mobile search for restaurants. Let's see what comes up. Now this is a pretty good site here. It's got some really good statistics. That's pretty eye-catching. I think a business owner would like to see that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to snip it out. And I'm going to copy that. And I'm going to go to my postcard. Right click and paste. Okay, it's a little bit big, so we're going to drag the handles down, resize it. Okay, now we're going to position it right about there. And now we're going to do a little bit of writing here to make it more interesting. So at this point, the restaurant owner is still entranced by this. There's still cheese there. There are no whiskers, nothing to chase them away. So let's write something really good here. Alright, I've written here something that's not scary. So it says according to Google, here are the searches per month on cell phones and desktops for restaurants. And if you don't have a mobile website for your type of restaurant, they're going to click away from your site. They're going to go to your competitor's site that's mobile enabled. Okay, at this point this is still interesting to the potential client. Alright, now we're going to write a little more here. Now it says stop losing customers. We can have a mobile site built for you within 24 hours, 50% off for the month of January. Here's the contact information. Now, what's wrong with this is I'm starting to show our whiskers, especially with the word we. This is starting to become about us. It's not about them. And what you want is you want it about them. The minute the client sees this we here, he's thinking, yeah, and that we's going to come into his vault and take the money out. He's trying to hold on to it for his business. And he doesn't want a salesman knocking at his door. So he's detected some whiskers here. He's not going to contact you. He's going to run. So we have to rewrite this to show him what's in it for him. That's all they're interested in. What's in it for him? Now I've rewritten this and I've said get our no obligation free report. Everything you always wanted to know about mobile websites but were afraid to ask. That's a little quote from Woody Allen. So I'm giving away my age here. It came from an old movie title. Anyway, that's besides the point, but it should arouse curiosity. And here's the contact information. Now you'll notice there's no whiskers here. I'm not trying to sell them anything. I'm trying to benefit him. So he's still thinking, what's in it for me? This is still cheese to him. And he's looking at this thinking, okay, a free report. Yeah, I saw my website on the front. I'd like to know more about mobile websites. And he's thinking, maybe I'll get some free information. Maybe I'll hire my own in-house guy to do it. Whatever he's thinking, what you want to do is get him to put up his hand. You just want to know who's interested. So no matter what the circumstance, what he's thinking, what you want is for him to contact you, and he'll probably email you. So the mistake here that we made before is we're trying to close them. Don't try to close them. We just want to find out who's interested. All right, let's look at this SEO offer that I made up really quickly before. Let's just improve it a little bit here. You don't have to use, that's an Arial font. We can use something a little bit better than that. I don't know, maybe Britannic bold. Make it red. We can edit this. And let's be a little bit cheeky and bold. Alright, let's give it a different shape. That looks pretty good. There you go. See how easy that was with Word? So we're using the power of Word here with our little tweak. And their program they invested millions of dollars in, we're using and improving. So we're geniuses. Alright, now as long as you leave a stamp, room for a stamp here, you're good to go. So let's just see if everything's still in place. Alright, and it is. Now that's a little bit bold and cheeky and almost insulting. It doesn't matter. What we want is for them to flip over the card. So anything that gets them to flip over the card and actually pay attention to this is valid. And they're going to recognize this card because there's the picture they're building and there's their address. If it were me, I just wanted to see what's on the back because of the audacity of this person. So this is sort of doing it by a negative comment. We can also do it with a positive comment. Now here's an example of a positive statement. So we're saying 8 new roofing contracts per month. All right. So if this actually makes it past the gatekeeper and into the owner's hands, he sees his address on there, he sees his building on there, it's recognizable. This will make him at least flip it over and see what we've got to say. Okay, now this was a set of postcards that I sent out, that I actually did send out in the summer, and I did get a response back. So we'll just take a quick look at them now. In some cases I couldn't get a street view. I wasn't very good at it, so I just put a map view there. It still worked. They can still see themselves on the map. I got another street view here. This is like 74 cards, so I'm not going to go through them all, but it was pretty positive. It worked. Let's just put it that way now. You don't have to have this looking like this. You can change it. Let's change the shape to this. Here. See how easy that was? That looks pretty good. So using positive works as well as using negative. It's just anything to get them to turn it over. Now let's take a look at the back of this card. And this is what I had on the back now. See if you can see my mistakes here. See, what I'm doing is I'm saying we. Alright, see that? I'm talking about me. I'm not talking about them. And this should be about them, not me. And the minute he sees we, he's seeing Whiskers. Okay? He's looking at this as a sales pitch. That's a mistake. You don't try to close them on this postcard. So what we got to do is we got to edit this and we make it more appealing. We got to make it cheese, not Whiskers. Now I've rewritten this and I've taken out all the we's. Okay, this is about him or her, the owner. So I'm saying, okay, you can find out from Google who's getting most of the free website traffic, and it's currently held by your competition. So I name the competition, just put a little pain point in there. And then what they can do about that, they can research it, find out how to do it better. And if they do that, they're going to get 80 to 250 clicks per month looking for a roof repair. And that's going to convert to 8 to 20 new customers. So this is all benefit for them. It's cheese, cheese, cheese. No whiskers here. So, and even more cheese. With no obligation, free report. Learn how to do this. Everything you always wanted to know about getting leads from the internet, but we're afraid to ask, okay? So, a little bit of a whisker there, thinking, okay, now I got to contact them, but then again, they may be thinking I've got nothing to lose. If I learn how to do this, I can make my business better. Now, after they read the report, for sure, well, not for sure, but pretty sure, they're not going to know how to do this. They're going to want your help. And besides, you got them to do what you wanted the postcard to do. You wanted them to put up their hand. So now you got them, basically. They've emailed you, or they've called you. More than likely, they've emailed you. You can send an email back to them, and now it's a warm call. It's a warm lead. You can call them back and ask them what they thought about the report. Now, as far as this report goes, you can do a search on the internet. You can get all sorts of reports. They're free. Some you have to pay for. Just cut out some quotes. Make up your own, anything. As long as it satisfies them generally. You know, as long as they get an idea. And they may not call you. They may call you right off the report, but pretty well you're going to have to reach for them. They're not going to reach for you. And they're especially not going to reach for you if they think it's too salesy. So this is your toe in the door rather than your foot in the door. Once you actually get them on the phone, that's when you can show some whiskers, because they can't quite escape then. Okay, you know, you're talking to them, and make your offer then. When you've got a live communication, and there's somewhat of a relationship there. They're not going to do business with you if you don't have a relationship with them. So get the purpose of these cards. It's just to get them to put up their hand and show you that they're interested. And you only deal with the ones that are interested. Forget the rest. Now here's the first letter that I put out using a merge function with graphics, and this is my first crack at it. I'm going to show you some of the mistakes I made here, just so you don't have to do them. Okay, I went a little bit overboard on the amount of merge fields in here. I'm going to enlarge this a little bit here. Here they are, you can see them here. Alright, now, if I go to mailings and hit preview, you can actually see who they are. They appear. And you'll notice I have names in some of them not. And the idea for this was I had to have the address in order to stuff the envelopes. I had an envelope as well with the address, and I had to match the two up. So anyway, I did a lot of merging, a lot of spreadsheet stuff unnecessarily, and I put way too much in this. So as you can see, I had something for that field there. I had a number of hits. I was going to do this with different areas and change these search results and also the keyword. There's the map. This image will change. It's the same as the others. It's a graphics merge. Alright, and here's the clipping of their competition. And here's a spreadsheet with a little bit of calculation in it. I did keyword research on Google, and I got all these facts. They're true. This is how many searches there were for roof repair Vancouver, and I kept that as a variable because I was going to do other things like dentists, whatever. I was going to be able to change the competition and all that. Now, it's maybe valid, but it's a little bit overboard. Looking back, I wouldn't do that again. I would just keep that constant, and then if I were going to do dentists, I would just do a new batch with new statistics and not try to make it variable for each one of them. And I'll show you what I mean in the spreadsheet later. So there was my spiel. It was a little bit long. I don't think people are really going to read all that. And it was way too whiskery. It's just me saying what I can do for them. I'm not offering any cheese here at the moment. I'm not offering a free report or anything. So I did get a response back simply because the guy was desperate. He wasn't doing any business, so you'll get those every once in a while. In any case, I also threw in a bonus offer for a mobile website, and I was giving it away real cheap for, I think it was $40. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, it was kind of ridiculous. It's not good to do two offers, so I offered a mobile website. Now these again are graphics that change, so when you actually create this document, you'll see different graphics, but those were the placeholders for the graphics. You'll see the phone's changing and the size was wrong here, but when I actually create the graphics on this page, you'll see that phone change. Anyway, I'm just trying to show you the mistakes here. I should have made more than one offer. Okay, I should have just kept it to an SEO with a benefit, and I didn't do that. So here's some more. I got his web address there. And as you can see, that changes as I click through the records. Okay, so don't make those mistakes. Just keep it simple. They don't want to read a lot. And what you're trying to do is just get them to put up their hand. Here's the spreadsheet that merges with the letter. So we got first name, last name, when I could get it. Company name, street, all that sort of stuff, phone, postal code. And this was, here's some of the other merge fields here. See, I just went way too overboard. I was having too much fun putting in merge fields. And there's the web address that you saw changing on that letter. Category, I used this as one of the merge fields. Again, here's more graphics, columns. Just way too much. It just went way too complicated, and it didn't result in much of any. Well, it did result in one response, but in hindsight, looking back, I shouldn't have done what I did do. I should have kept it more cheese than Whiskers, so I would have got way better response. So that about wraps it up for this course, and I just wanted a few last comments here. It's only costing about 35 cents in the US to mail out a postcard. Think of the cost per click and having to get past the email filters and everything if you're doing email. And you got to pay $1 or $2, maybe even $3 for really choice terms. For anything, I looked at roof repair. Google was charging a lot for the juicy ones that were getting all the searches. Now, 35 cents, pretty reasonable. And as far as mobile sites, I didn't look up what the cost was, but I'm sure it's pretty high for cost per click. So for 35 cents, you're getting to owners that don't even look at the internet. They're looking at something solid in their hand, and it's engaging. They have to engage with it because they have to actually read it. And they're looking at this too. They're looking at this website that you built. Nobody's done this for them. Okay, this took us all of 30 seconds to build. Okay, with our special method. How are you going to beat that? I mean, you're way better off sending this postcard than you are trying to email them. And the really great thing about this is you don't have to be a deer in the headlights, looking at all the different shiny objects, wondering what to do. I was in that position, and it felt so good to actually print something off and send something out, actually do something. I mean, how are you going to get an email list of customers that works? I tried. It didn't work very well. I mean, you'd have to, the scraper would give me more information without the email address than it did with. So, I mean, you try any scraper and you'll see they're hidden in contact forms. And I mean, you can use Email Sleuth to try get them, but this is a whole lot less effort. It's really direct. You can print something off in your printer. You can actually do something. You can hold it in your hand. You can go to the post office. It's a relief to actually get something out there. Okay, and direct mail, it has a good response, you know, despite what anybody says. If they see something recognizable, it's not going to be just junked, unless it goes through a really mean gatekeeper, but the percentages are that it's going to get to the owner. So I hope you take action. I hope you do this. I hope you don't just buy this and let it sit there. Okay, this is a really great tool. Nobody else has put anything out like this that I've seen. And these are SuperCards. They will work for you. Take some action, and thank you for doing this course. There may be some supplementary material after this, some other videos, but I think this is going to be the last video here. I may give you one other one showing some stuff about what to use for postcards, etc. But this is the end, and appreciate you taking the time to do it. And really, I want to hear back from you. Email me with any successes you have. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you.